and the 2001 Canadian Grand Prix is underway. And I think Marquez, he's lost out. Whoa! There's an arrow that just went off in the background there. He just loses a lot of ground. It's like Alonso has like an 8th gear up his sleeve. That button doesn't. It's so strange what happens there. What on earth has happened? Jean Alesi has passed Jacques Villeneuve, and now he's also passed Jenson Button. But let's see if Villeneuve can actually contend with Alonso in a straight line. In fact, Villeneuve can't even contend with Alesi. Villeneuve's dropped back. I mean, I don't know what happened to Jacques Villeneuve's pace, but it has completely fallen off. We could actually finally see a change in lead in the Grand Prix, because for the first time in a long time, coming down the start-finish straight, someone is side by side with Fernando Alonso. Alesi is in the lead. Can he hold on to it? And yes, he has. But here we are, Juan Pablo Montoya behind. He got off the power. But I'm imagining the Grand Prix is coming to a close soon. In fact, actually, not even down a main back straight, just coming out to the exit of the first couple of corners, and Montoya has taken the final podium position. Montoya, he may well have set the fastest lap, but more importantly, Jean Alesi in the Prost is going to win the 2001 Canadian Grand Prix. Right then guys, it's PSL here, and I'm here for part 9 in my Formula 1 2001 Reverse Grid Race series, and we're here for the European Grand Prix around the Nurburgring. So just looking at the grid, Tarso Marquez as per usual starting from pole position, although to be fair to him, normally in qualifying Marquez was away off Fernando Alonso. In this particular qualifying session, Marquez was within a 10th of Alonso. So, you know, let's not rag on him too much. Marquez, at this particular track, was quite comparable to Alonso. Then you got Jenson Button in third, the guy who's leading the Drivers' Championship by a long way, to be honest. I think if you combine both Schumacher's championship points, so Michael and Ralph's championship points, they would equal Button's. That's the advantage he's got in the championship. Then we got both Arrows, Mazzucano, Bertie, Fisichella down in 8th, so I don't think we'll see too much from the other Benetton driver. Button should have an easy race, to be honest. He's in 3rd place. All he's got to do is get past both Minardis, and then he's sorted. Fisichella way down though, so he's going to have a much tougher time. Then we got the previous race winner, Jean Alesi in 9th. And Alesi, I mean, it was a surprise victory at the Canadian Grand Prix for Jean Alesi. He had to overcome Jenson Button, Jacques Villeneuve. He had to get past Fernando Alonso, which was a tough job. So I'm not going to rule him out. I'm certainly not. Not after the previous performance where he was stunning. But he's in 9th. As I said, much like Fisichella, I think he's going to have a tough time. But who knows, quite literally anything can happen. So yeah, we'll just head up towards the front of the grid with Tarso Marquez. And I'll let Murray Walker take you through the rest of the starting positions.
Welcome to the Nurburgring. Conditions couldn't be better for the drivers today, so we should see some excellent lap times. Second position is Alonso. Taking up 3rd position is Jenson Button. 4th on the grid for Jos Verstappen. It's 5th position for Benoldi. In 6th position, Gaston Mazzucano. In 7th position is Luciano Berti. Giancarlo Fisichella, 8th. Jean Alesi in 9th spot. Panis, 10th position. 11th for Eddie Irvine. 12th spot goes to Jacques Villeneuve. Nick Heidfeld is in 13th. 14th place for Kimi Räikkönen. In 15th spot we have Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Jarno Trulli is in 16th spot. Mika Häkkinen in 17th. 18th for David Coulthard. In 19th spot is Rubens Barrichello. 20th is Juan Pablo Montoya. Ralf Schumacher in 21st place. And last on the grid is Michael Schumacher.
thank you Murray once again. So we got both Minardis on the front row, Jenson Button in third, Jos Verstappen in fourth, and the 2001 European Grand Prix is underway. Nothing spectacular off the start, but what matters is who's going to be leading coming out of the first couple of corners. Pretty even-handed start from both Minardi drivers there, but Jenson Button is already looking to take second place off of Fernando Alonso. Both Minardi drivers dicing for first place already, much like Button and Verstappen are battling. Well, I was going to say for third place, but in fact Button has already passed Fernando Alonso. We've only done a few corners of this Grand Prix, and in fact Fernando Alonso is already looking to take second place back off of Jenson Button. So we could be back into a Minardi 1-2 position. Yes, we are, and in fact, actually, Jenson Button, he gave a bit too much space to Fernando Alonso there, because he's let Jos Verstappen through as well. But both Minardis, in fact, actually halting any progress that Verstappen could have made, because, well, Alonso is passing Marquez. So that's the problem right now. There's too many attempted overtakes being made right now that nobody can really get by. Jos Verstappen, though, he's looking pretty good at the moment. I mean, I didn't really think the Arrows could compete with a Benetton. Well, it is. And in fact, the auto director, why is it doing that? But I think Jos Verstappen is about to take third from Jenson Button. Side by side are Jenson Button and Jos Verstappen. And no, Button is still in third place for the time being, coming around the last corner. And in fact, actually, not really a great deal has changed from the starting positions. In fact, Fizzy Keller is already up into fifth, so he's made movements. I don't think we'd be seeing anything from him this Grand Prix. Alonso's pulling off into the distance. Button is still in third, but Jos Verstappen is looking pretty quick. And in fact, actually, coming out of the Castrol S, there you go. Jos Verstappen has taken fourth, or third should I say, from Jenson Button. Wow, I wasn't expecting Marquez to crumble quite that quickly. He's already let Jenson Button and Jos Verstappen through. So, Verstappen is in second place. Fernando Alonso is leading it. Alonso was noticeably quicker than Marquez. He already pulled out a several second gap. Oh, Villeneuve, he's gone! He's actually kept it on the track, but Villeneuve, I was just about to say, he is making movements because he's had to get past Fizzy Keller. He's now actually still dicing with Fizzy Keller. He's had to get past Mazzacane, who were all stuck behind Marquez. But I think Villeneuve is about to succeed where those guys have failed. He's going to take fourth place from Tarso Marquez. And in fact, that is exactly what has happened. Because Marquez was kind of a stopgap. I mean, it was quite noticeable, the gap between him and the top three. But still, in fact, actually, heading towards the first couple of corners, the Castrol S, Jos Verstappen attempting a move there. And in fact, oh no, I think he's lost out potentially to Jenson Button and Jos Verstappen. He attempted the move, and in fact, actually, Jos Verstappen is about to retake second place. Well, who knows, actually? Let's have a look at this. Because Alonso could soon be about to lose the lead, although Jos Verstappen, he's going to get past Jenson Button, and honestly, right now, my money is on Jos Verstappen because he is gunning for it right now. Hang on, there's no way. Jos Verstappen and Fernando Alonso side by side coming down the start-finish straight. And in fact, this could be Jos Verstappen about to take the lead from Fernando Alonso, heading towards the Castrol S. Of course, he's now got the inside line for the second part of it. And yep, Alonso, he's been forced out onto the grass. And Jos Verstappen has taken the lead of the European Grand Prix. Well, there you go. Alonso in second, still doing valiantly. I mean, let's not forget, this Minardi is dreadful. It really is. I mean, there isn't really another comparable car on the grid to it, because even the Arrows is distinctly better than the Minardi. And for Fernando Alonso to now be in third place, he's doing well. I mean, let's not forget, Marquez is nowhere. I mean, he's already, in fact, actually out of the points. Nick Heidfeld is in sixth. That's interesting, okay. So, Alonso's in third. I think it'll be a matter of time before Villeneuve gets by, because Villeneuve, I mean, Jos Verstappen's gunning for it, but Villeneuve, I think, is the quickest guy, really, who's even close to scoring a point. And in fact, Yep, Jacques Villeneuve in 4th place, soon could be 3rd. In fact, he's got to try and make the move around the outside of the last corner. That is going to be tough. And, well, he's set up a move which is going to be exactly the same as Jos Verstappen did on Fernando Alonso. So Alonso's lost 2 positions in pretty much the exact same way. The difference is Villeneuve has already made his position stick. And didn't I say that Villeneuve was the quickest guy who was even close to scoring a point? Well, in fact, he's just the quickest guy, full stop, setting the fastest lap. So the race order is Jos Verstappen leading from Button in 2nd. And the weird thing is I don't think Button is quicker than Verstappen. Villeneuve in 3rd, he could upset Verstappen's day. Alonso in 4th, but Fisichella is charging and so is Nick Heidfeld. And Heidfeld is one of 3 drivers who is still yet to score points. So Heidfeld could finally score a point at his home Grand Prix. And there you go, I think that is Jacques Villeneuve up into 2nd place. This is not a sight that Verstappen wants to see. He's going to have to hope now for his sake that Button can re-overtake Villeneuve. But no, it isn't to be. So Verstappen in 1st, Villeneuve in 2nd. Now, I'm pretty certain Verstappen can contend with Button. I'm pretty certain if Villeneuve was removed from the picture, Verstappen would be winning the Grand Prix easily. The problem is Villeneuve is quick. He's extremely quick. He's probably been, honestly, the most impressive driver this series. He really has been. Well, this season, should I say. Jacques Villeneuve in 2nd place. Amazingly, he hasn't got a race win to his name. I think he's got a couple of podium finishes. But Villeneuve, he's been right up there from day one. He's extremely quick. You can't fault him. But yet, Panis is the one who's taken the glory, because Panis has got a race win to his name back in Spain. Villeneuve hasn't, but I think he's about to very soon. Oh no, here we are on board with Nick Heidfeld, and as you can see, he's going to see Fisichella now pull off into the sunset unless he can get past Fernando Alonso himself. And, well, he's got the inside line. He's pretty much side by side with Fernando Alonso, and I think he's made the move stick. I think he has. He certainly is still within a shot of doing it. Yep, coming towards the Dunlop corner. And I just think he's going to be able to hold it around the outside of Fernando Alonso. Let's have a look. Alonso doing remarkably well. Still in the points place. I don't think he'll be there for much longer, because Heidfeld's going to get by. And, well, I mean, Panis is right there. Panis is extremely quick. He isn't a race winner for no reason, let me put it that way. In fact, Olivier Panis, oh no, heartbreak for Sauber and Nick Heidfeld. Sauber languishing right towards the back end of the Constructors' Championship. Heidfeld himself hasn't even scored a point. They really need this. Sauber, I mean, they've only scored 2 points all season so far. We've done half the season pretty much, and Sauber have only got 2 points to show for it. So Heidfeld is going to have to drive out of his skin to keep Olivier Panis behind, and he's doing so for the time being. If he can get past Alonso though, he's going to, well, he'll be in much better stead. And there we are, Olivier Panis getting past Fernando Alonso, so that signals that Minardi are not going to be scoring any points this Grand Prix. Alonso's out of it. Marquez is in 17th, so he is nowhere near being able to score a point. Panis in 6th. He's once again got to try and get past Nick Heidfeld. The difference for Heidfeld now is that, well, if he loses the position, he'll still be scoring a point. So there's less for him to lose. And he's got clean air. He's not being held up by Fernando Alonso. And the Sauber's quick. I don't know how it compares to the BAR, but I'd assume similar on pace. But Panis is a race winner. Heidfeld hasn't scored a point. And I think this is it for Jos Verstappen. Jenson Button has not been able to repass Jacques Villeneuve for 2nd place. And I think that is going to signal the end for Jos Verstappen. As you can see, he's got no one in front of him right now. But it just depends the line he takes out of the corner. Well, I think Villeneuve's alongside him. I think that's why Verstappen has placed himself in the middle of the track to give himself the best opportunity at retaining the lead, but I don't think that's going to happen. And there you go, that is the crucial move. Jacques Villeneuve has taken the lead of the European Grand Prix. So Villeneuve in first, Verstappen in second. Either way, regardless of who wins between Verstappen or Villeneuve, we'll have a new race winner. It will still be 8 different race winners in 9 Grand Prix, regardless of whether it's Villeneuve or Verstappen. But Verstappen, I've said all Grand Prix, I think he can contend with Button. But remember the last time these guys faced each other, that was the Monaco Grand Prix, and when that happened, Button punted Verstappen into the wall at Mirabeau. Right, the battle for the top 6 has suddenly got a lot more interesting, because of course we've still got the battle between Panis and Heifeld, which they keep re-overtaking each other. For the moment, Heifeld is in 5th, but that changes pretty much on a lap-by-lap basis. Ralf Schumacher though, last time I saw he had set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He's in 7th, and you can't rule him out of scoring a point. David Coulthard is in 8th, and it's Rubens Barrichello who's in 9th. So it's the day of the number 2 drivers, isn't it? Where's Michael Schumacher? Where's Häkkinen? Nowhere, but Barrichello's up there. Coulthard is, a few feet away from a points position, but still isn't there just yet. The ideal scenario for him is that Heifeld and Panis punt each other off, although in fact actually Ralf Schumacher has just shown Coulthard how it's done. Ralf Schumacher up into 6th place, and the BAR is quick. Panis is a good driver and the BAR is an extremely quick car, but even it, I don't think, can quite contend with the Williams of Ralf Schumacher. Although I said that, if Schumacher's going to go out onto the grass, that isn't going to do him any favours whatsoever. And there you go. Ralf Schumacher is, I think, definitively up into 6th place, although Heifeld isn't too far up the road, so it could soon be 5th. For Ralf Schumacher, not quite, but yeah, I was going to mention this actually. Good timing. Heifeld is catching up to Fisichella, not massively, but he is ever so slowly catching up to him. So, Heifeld, he's sitting pretty. He's in 5th place. He's got a couple of points to his name, but he's catching up to Fisichella. But I think we're on the last lap, so it's a little bit too late for him to try and score any more points. But the fact is Heifeld is going to score his first points of the season this Grand Prix, so that'll be brilliant for him. But coming round the Coca-Cola corner, the last corner, Jacques Villeneuve, he is going to win the 2001 European Grand Prix. So there you go, BAR are the 3rd team to have both of their drivers win a Grand Prix each. Jos Verstappen will take 2nd, Jenson Button will take 3rd. Then we got Fisichella in 4th. I wrote him off heading into this Grand Prix, but then there you go, he's finished in 4th. Nick Heifeld has taken 5th. Against all odds, he had to contend with Ralf Schumacher and Panis, but he still has taken 5th, and I think he's on the same points total as his teammates now. And then we got Ralf Schumacher, I believe, took 6th. It's just the camera there confused me, but I'm pretty certain Ralf Schumacher took 6th in the end. Well, there you have it. The 9th different race in this 2001 season, and the 8th different race winner. I said at the start of this series that this game was more balanced when it comes to doing a reverse grid series, but I wasn't expecting it to be quite this balanced. 8 different race winners. Most teams have had race winners. Pretty much every driver has scored points apart from Trulli and Häkkinen, and in fact I'll let you into a little secret. This is the 3rd time I've recorded this episode, and in the 2nd recording, Häkkinen scored points. So there's just something weird about this Grand Prix where Heifeld scored a couple of points at this Grand Prix. Häkkinen, I think, finished either 5th or 4th. So there's something strange about this Grand Prix. It just seems to favour those who haven't scored points thus far. And in fact, those who haven't even won races thus far win races. And Verstappen to take 2nd in the arrows. Verstappen to be quicker than Jenson Button, and an arrows in general to be quicker than a Benetton is not something I would have expected. So on to the Drivers' Championship, and of course Jenson Button is still leading it, and he's got double the points of the person who won the championship in real life, Michael Schumacher. That's unbelievable. I mean, Michael Schumacher, he was second in the Drivers' Championship heading into the Grand Prix. He's now third thanks to Jacques Villeneuve's race win. But that's unbelievable. Michael Schumacher, who you'd assume would be right up there. I mean, he is still right up there, but to have half the points of the championship leader in 2001 is unheard of. Below that, you've got both Williams drivers who are on exactly the same points total thanks to Ralf Schumacher's 6th place finish this Grand Prix. Now, in my 2002 reverse grid series, both Williams drivers were very equal there as well. One was very quick during the first half of the season, one was very quick during the second half of the season. But if you rewind back a year into the 2001 season, they're very equal once again. It's just, they're a great driver pairing, Montoya and Ralf Schumacher, because when one's doing poorly, the other one is usually doing well. Fisichella is also joining Ralf Schumacher and Montoya on 18 points, and that's pretty much it for the top half of the driver's standings. Of course though, apart from the obvious, and that is that Jos Verstappen is now in the double point gang. He's on the same points total as Tarso Marquez, and that's another unbelievable statistic. 22 drivers are on the field, and 11 of them already, after only 9 Grand Prix, 11 drivers are on double figure points. Nick Heidfeld, who was 21st in the driver standings due to him, not scoring any points. But of course, now he's got 2 points, he's overtaken Häkkinen and Luciano Berti, he's up there with his teammate Kimi Räikkönen. Now on to the constructors standings, and of course Benetton are still leading. They might not have had the most heroic day this Grand Prix. Button was beaten by both Verstappen and Villeneuve. Fisichella did exceed expectations but still only scored 3 points. But they were the second highest scoring team this Grand Prix, 7 points, only beaten by BAR. So Benetton, they're now on to 60 points. There's not even another team in the 40 point region, and Benetton are on 60 points. As a result of the previous Grand Prix, Williams overtook BAR in the constructors standings, and now once again that constant leapfrog battle, BAR have re-overtaken Williams once again. I mean, honestly, I don't think a Grand Prix goes by where Williams and BAR don't swap places in the Constructors' Championship. I mean, it's still close, there's only 3 points separating those two teams. Now, of course, the Canadian Grand Prix had massive implications for Prost in the Constructors' standings, because with Jean Alesi winning a Grand Prix, coming out of nowhere, I thought Prost was safe in the top 6 championship position. Well, just one Grand Prix after Prost opened up a massive gap over Arrows have closed it up again. And finally, the main talking point in the Constructors' Championship, Sauber have moved out of last place. They've overtaken Jordan, and they're really close to Jaguar and McLaren. I mean, that shows how tight the championship is. I mean, sure, Sauber, they're not close to Benetton, don't get me wrong, but they were 11th, they were last in the Constructors' standings. They've had one 5th place finish, so nothing particularly amazing, and already they've overtaken Jordan, and they're only 1 point away from passing both Jaguar and McLaren. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and next time it's the French Grand Prix around Magny-Cours. So I'll see you then.